So today's the day that I'm changing the manifolds on this truck because I have two cracked manifolds. I just want to do a little before and after video on the install of my shorty headers. So I'm going to show you what they look like, the manifolds. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a little dark in there. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Needs to focus a little bit, but you can see that there's a giant crack in there, but it goes all the way around the pipe, and then there's a bunch of little small little cracks on this manifold. But that's the main crack right there, and then it's the same deal on the other side, but not as bad as this one. So I'm gonna start it up, let you hear it, and then we're gonna get to removing these. You can hear how bad that leak is. It's doing it on both sides. So yeah, we're going to get to work on this, get the manifolds off, and then take a closer look at the cracks. Well, I got the driver's side out. It didn't take me too long. I think I started this job at 11 o'clock. And it's 1:11 now, so I got this side done. The bolts didn't come out too bad. I don't know if you can see, but there's a crack right here. Just a little one. This side isn't as bad as the other. Yeah, so this is this side. Yeah, you can tell there's a leak on this side as well. Can't see. Yeah, you can see all the black carbon leaking out around the bolts right there. Yeah, I didn't have too much trouble. I just used a lot of heat and penetrating oil, and I would take this hammer here and I would hit the end of the bolts to help loosen them up, because I don't know how long these bolts have been on here. They probably have never been replaced. So yeah, that's it. But it's kind of funny because if you guys watch the Fox shop, he's the one that's been sort of helping me out with this, because I've been kind of afraid of doing this job because I'm afraid of snapping bolts off. Well, he had one that was loose, and I think it was either this one or that one. No, it had to been this one right here. He had one that was loose on his manifold, and it's kind of weird because mine was the same exact bolt on my truck was loose as well. So I don't know what the deal is with that. That's kind of weird. It was coming out, like it was already loose, and I didn't have to use any penetrating oil or anything. It just came right out, no problem. So it was loose, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I got this side out, and I guess I'm gonna start working on the other side and see what goes on there. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I started on this side, and I removed the fender liner. It took me about like 20 minutes because for some reason these mounts right, where are they? Oh yeah, right here. were rusted in. The bolts were rusted, and there was like a nut or something like that on this side where it just kept spinning and spinning. So I just took a grinder and I just grinded the ends of the bolts off so I can get the fender liner out. But all the other bolts came out fine. But I just wanted to show you guys that after I got the fender out, you can see the crack a lot better from this angle. So yeah, this side's gonna be a bit harder. I took this fender liner out because I'm not sure what this is. It's probably part of the EGR or something, and that's getting in my way, so I just took the liner out and I can get to these bolts a lot better. But yeah, so that's where we're at so far. Okay, so I began on bolting this side with the manifold, bolting the manifold. I haven't even finished unbolting it yet, and I've only unbolted this cylinder right here, and look, it cracked completely in half. I've already unbolted those where the coupler attaches to the main exhaust, to the Y pipe, but I literally just finished unbolting that cylinder right there, and look, freaking snapped right in half. And that's not even where the main crack is. That main crack is right there, and I believe it's going to happen again right there. Get back to you in a minute when I finish unbolting this. Hopefully all the bolts come out like they should. Alright guys, I got the last manifold off. Sorry, they're kind of doing some work next door. That's what all that background noise is. But it ended up cracking in the main spot. I kind of anticipated that, but I didn't know it was going to break off into 3 pieces. Yeah. Yeah, you can see how bad that was. I mean, I don't think you can get much worse than that. All this right here, I tried using JB Weld high heat. Do not recommend that. I spent $16 on freaking JB Weld, and I tried to cover these cracks up for a temporary fix. It didn't last 3 days, so I do not recommend that stuff whatsoever. That stuff just crumbled right off. So, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a manifold this bad. I mean, look at that. It's about to break off into another piece. Yeah. So, I'm about to replace them with shorty headers. I'm going to show you guys what those look like in a minute. But that's it really. All the bolts came out like they should. So these are the new shorty headers that I'm going to be installing on the truck. They were black. I got them from Summit Racing. They were black. I stripped all the paint off of them, and I painted them white with white ceramic paint, high heat. Yeah, I chose white because it's a little bit different, and I haven't really seen a white set of headers before. So I'm hoping these will give me a little bit more low-end torque. I got a pretty good deal on these. These are $180. But yeah, we're gonna get to installing these right now. Alright, so it's the next day. I did go ahead and finish this one side over here. I had to stop because it was getting late. It was getting dark, so I couldn't film this, so I just went ahead and stopped after I got this first header in. Oh my gosh, it was so much harder than it was removing the old manifolds, because these pipes here, let's see, I can't see that. Let's see. Yeah, this bolt right there, that was really tough to get in because the pipe is the way it's bent. You can't get a wrench in there, or you can't get a socket and a ratchet on there. So I had to use a combination of 3/8 and like a 15 millimeter wrenches. You interlock them, and I use that to tighten them down. You're supposed to torque them down to like 20 foot-pounds, I believe, but I can't get a torque wrench in here. It's way too tight. So I just judged on how tight they are. So it took me like I think it was probably like an hour and a half just to get this one side in. But it's in now. So I just have to connect the Y pipe on this side, and yeah, so I've already completed the other side too, so I'll give you a look at this. I highly recommend, if you're going to do this job, let's see, or zoom out. If you're going to do this job, I highly recommend removing the fender liner, because it gives you so much more space in here to work, because you can get to these bolts a lot better. The header's kind of dirty because, I don't know, I've been playing around with it, so I just gotta wipe it down. But yeah, so I got this side in. This side wasn't as bad as the other side. I think it's because I was able to remove this fender liner. So I highly recommend doing that if you're gonna do this job, because it makes life so much easier. And yeah, I just have to connect the Y pipe on this side as well, and I think we're gonna be good. Oh, and I went ahead and changed the spark plugs and the distributor cap. I have an MSD distributor on here, and yeah, went ahead and changed the cap and rotor on it. So yeah, I guess I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so there is this one problem. On these headers that they give you, on each side there's O2 sensor ports, but on my truck I don't have those two O2 sensors. Like, I guess it's for the 96 model, but and there's no way I am going to be ordering O2 sensor plugs for this thing, because they are just outrageous for what they want for them. I think they want like $8 a plug to fill in these holes. Let's see if I can get in here. You see that? There's a O2 sensor bong right here. Yeah, and there's on the other side, there's one just like it. So I am not spending $8 a plug for that from like Summit Racing. That's not including shipping. With shipping is like $25, so I'm like, screw that. I'm just gonna, I have these old O2 sensors right here from my a Jeep Wrangler, so I'm just gonna use these to plug up the holes. I mean, they're free and it's gonna do the job just fine. I know it's kind of cheap and not doing the job right, but I mean, it's just plugging a hole. That's all they're being used for. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, I'll get back to you when I get the Y pipe all situated and all put together, and we'll start it up and see how it sounds. Alright, so I finished connecting the Y pipe to the headers. It took forever because you can barely get a quarter turn at a time on that back bolt right there on the passenger side. But yeah, so I mean, it was kind of a pain to get the Y pipe to you know, connect to both headers, because for some reason on this side the EGR was preventing it to come back far enough to connect to this thing. So I had to use a ratchet strap to stretch the Y pipe in order to connect to this onto this header, and then on the other side it was almost the same kind of deal. I just used the ratchet strap to kind of stretch and manipulate it to get it to work. But yeah, I finally got it on. It took a while, but it's in there now. So yeah, I just gotta reconnect all my spark plug wires, and then put this fender liner back in, and yeah, I think that's it. And then I will start it up and see how it sounds. Alright, so it's the next day again, so I need to... I could not seal the headers to the Y pipe. The Y pipe flange is a little too small for these what do you call them, collectors. So I've tried probably 3 or 4 times trying to seal up the driver's side, and I just couldn't do it. This side wasn't leaking, but I'm just gonna have to order a whole new Y pipe in order to fit these flanges onto the collectors, because the flanges are way too small. So yeah, I'm working on taking all that apart, so I guess I'll get back to you when I get the Y pipe off. Okay, so I finally got the Y pipe out. Let's see if I can have some light. Yeah, so I got the Y pipe out. I had to cut the new bolts off, well, one of them, because it wasn't coming undone for some reason. They're like, I don't know, they're like lock nuts or something. I couldn't get it off. They kept binding up for some reason. I didn't cross thread them or anything, but I had to cut it off. So that was a pain in the butt to get off. So yeah, and I ordered the new Y pipe, but after I ordered it, I realized that this thing doesn't have an O2 sensor plug on it. So, and mine does. So I'm gonna have to take, I guess, a section of piece of pipe to go get an O2 sensor bung put in. So yeah, this thing's just costing me more money. I just hope that these flanges on this one will fit up against the collectors on the headers. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I read some of the reviews on this thing, and some guy, he bought the same exact headers for mine. Like, he bought the same exact headers as I did, and he bought this same exact Y pipe, and he said that it fits, but I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. I mean, I hope that the flanges are a little bit bigger on this one, because I don't want to waste $124 on this if they're not going to be any different than the part that I have now. Okay, so there's a big change of plans. Remember when I was telling you that I ordered that Y pipe, that new Y pipe for my truck, to, you know, so hopefully it would connect to the headers? Well, I decided I'm going to return that, and I talked to my exhaust shop, go over there, and they said they are able to stretch the flanges to make them fit over the collectors. I'll show you guys. I guess while I was trying to tighten it down and, you know, trying to seal the leaks, can't really tell on here, but kind of dented in the collector cup piece. So yeah, I kind of just gave up, and I'm just gonna have this thing towed over to the exhaust shop over in about a week, and have the existing pipe flanges expanded so they're able to fit over the top of this cup piece right here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And plus, I had to cut off the EGR in order to get this whole Y pipe out. Yeah, it's right here. But yeah, they're gonna be able to weld that all back together. And the other reason why I did that, I returned that Y pipe, is because it did not come with an O2 sensor port, so that kind of sucked. So I didn't want to have to spend the extra money to have a port, you know, welded into the another piece of pipe and me put it all back together. The exhaust shop do it for 140 bucks. So less stress for me, and it'll be done right. So that's what I'm doing. I guess I'll get back to you whenever that's done and see how it goes. Alright guys, it's the next week. It's Friday. I finally got the exhaust finished. I had it towed on Wednesday. It took them about a day and a half to get it all situated. And yeah, it sounds a lot better after I replaced those cracked manifolds. I'll show you what they did. Sorry for the shakiness, just trying to crawl under here. Yeah, I guess they just lopped off the old flanges, and they welded a new piece of pipe to it, and I guess they stretched it so it was able to fit over the collectors. So yeah, they did that to both sides. They also reconnected my EGR, even though it's deleted. Don't really need that crap. So yeah, they did a really good job on it. Looks like I need to redo my oil pan gasket after I just replaced it last week, so it kind of sucks, but that'll be another video, I guess. But yeah, I'll start it up for you guys and let you hear how it sounds. So yeah, it's running a lot smoother after I replaced all those plugs, distributor cap, and rotor, and not having the cracked manifolds. So yeah, it's much quieter now in the engine bay, but the exhaust still sounds really good. I'll give it a few revs. So yeah, it's all, the exhaust is all done. There's some other things I just gotta fix on here. I just read some of the codes and looks like I have to replace the throttle position sensor, I guess. But yeah, so I guess there'll be more videos to come on this truck. But yeah, I guess that's really it for this video. But when I brought it back from the shop, I thought it was like totally powerless when I was driving it home. I mean, I could barely get above 60 miles an hour, and then so I was kind of frustrated about that because I thought the shorty headers were even more restrictive than the old manifolds. So I brought it home. I took a look at everything, and I guess when I was replacing my spark plugs and distributor cap and rotor, I put one of the wires in the wrong spot, or two of the wires in the wrong spots. So I replugged those up, and it is much quicker. I noticed quite a bit of a torque difference and more throttle response. So I highly recommend the shorty headers for sure. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please comment, subscribe, If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll try to get back to you. Yeah, so have a good one.